How's it going, YouTube? Diecast construction expert here with a review for y'all today. This is actually going to be a part 2, technically speaking. The first part was the Peterbilt 379 triaxle by Sword with the Vermeer logos on it. That comes with the whole model, which the tub grinder is made by TWH in 1/50th scale, and it is the Vermeer, TG7000 tub grinder, and that is what we are going to be covering today. It may or may not be a two-part review itself. Just kind of have to see what the time frame that we've got allows. So without any further ado, guys, we're going to go ahead and hop right into the review. Alright guys, so starting out at the front of the trailer, we've got some really nicely done logos here. Starting out right here, we got some nice warning, and it's probably a trailering decal for proper hookup of the hydraulic and air lines and everything like that. And there is also another maybe warning decal just above that with maybe serial numbers. I don't know, it's really hard to tell. And then over here, we've got a nice little American flag that they added in, which of course is always a nice little gesture. Coming up to the top, we've been provided with a nice little air compressor, which does come with the model. Very nice addition. Right here, we'll go ahead and mention that we already start out with the DOT stripes, which is also going to definitely add to the realism of the model. And we got a little side marker there for the lights, which would definitely be there on the real machine. Next to the air compressor, we have a little fire extinguisher. Very nice little addition that they added there. We'll come up to the top. You see there is an area where you can store your traffic cones for whenever you are, just letting people know that you're in the area and telling them to keep clear. Up on top of the control station, we've got, if we can ever focus in on it, might be a little bit easier said than done, but on the top there we've got a little orange and blue beacon, just to let everybody know that the machine is in operation, if you couldn't already figure that out by being remotely close to it at all. Right here we're at the ground level operating station. You can see that they've got, if we can get a little bit better, there we go, we can get a little bit better view there. Got some more decals, and up top you can see they added some gauges and things like that to also add to the realism of the model. All around the operator station, we've got this right here, which does come together and it would fold away for transportation, like so. And then whenever you're ready to reopen it, you just pop open the top, and you would open up this part of the gate, and it technically would kind of stop itself right there. There is supposed to be like a little wedge that would wedge it on place, but you see how that works there. Moving along, we've got a little warning decal right there in between the stairs. This does fold up for transportation and folds down for whenever the operator is going up into the operator's cab. Right here on the stabilizer, we've got another little warning decal. Warning decals are all throughout the model. Very, very nice feature to have. Right here we've got another opening door, Not too terribly much going on the inside of the model here. That is the radiator. You can't really see it too well, but it's essentially what's right in the middle of the screen. That would be your radiator for the machine. And there are also a few little hydraulic lines and so forth that run in through there that you can't really see from right here. Go ahead and close this back up. And along the bottom here we see there's continuous DOT lining. Very nice. Coming to this door, that is our engine compartment. Right straight ahead, the blue part, that's your oil filter. Can't really see too terribly much with this camera, unfortunately. You can see some hydraulic lining in there, a few other things going on. Directly to the rear, top rear, this part right here is going to be your muffler, which comes out the top right here. And that also has a, nice little guard to protect it from any falling debris potentially that may or may not fall while loading up the tub grinder. Get this out of the way real quick. Coming around, we've got the TG7000 logo there and the Vermeer logo, along with the green and black stripe that they have on all of their machines. Very well done, very crisp. Can't even hardly see that they're there, really, for the most part. Moving along, this right here is actually a tray for some screens that would be on the inside of the tub. I'll pull those out before we wrap up the review and show you how those all go in place. Right here we've got some steps going up to where you would service the tub, which I'll open up here in a second. It has been diamond plated, which is very nice. Definitely adds to the realism again. And right here, probably not going to be able to see it too well. We'll give it a try. Another little warning decal there. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to get... Oh, there we go. A little warning decal there. Nothing too crazy. Right here, we've got a little painted handrail just to grab onto whenever we're going up the steps, along with another little side warning light for night traveling and so forth, just to meet requirements for safety laws and so forth. On the top of the wheel fender there, it's kind of blacked out. I'm assuming that would be essentially a grip tape type surface. Pretty gritty feeling if I had to assume, but this right here, it is just painted on. It's not rough or anything like that, so nothing too wild going on there. Moving on to the tub, we've got a warning decal right there at the bottom of the tub and right over here to the side of the tub. With all the rest of them, you can't even hardly read them unless you just whip out a magnifying glass or something like that. Right here, this is actually a rubber ring that they put around it, which is basically trying to resemble the teeth that would grab onto the hydraulic motor, which would spin the whole bowl around 360 degrees, like so, like it does do. Very, very nice that they added that. Could have been nicer if they would have color matched it or something, but that works just fine the way it is. Coming to the rear of the model, you can see, just spin this around a little bit for y'all. You can see on the mud flaps, they added the Vermeer logo there, along with the three rear-facing lights. I'm going to go ahead and fold up the conveyor here real quick. On top of the conveyor, they have also got three more lights added, along with some reflective striping, just to, like I said earlier, meet the safety requirements. And also to the back here, we've got a little step, which also folds up if we're in transport, and down for whenever the model's in use. And these handrails have been painted red on this side of the model as well. Since we're at the back, I guess we'll go ahead and start with the conveyor. As you can see along the sides, we've got very, very nicely done hydraulic lining to simulate the motor, which would be at the top of the conveyor, which would essentially help make it spin. Very nicely done. A lot of people want to know what this part is right here. That's simply just a guard for whenever material's coming up and around. If it gets stuck, it'll kind of hit this and then just slide off as opposed to being slung out. Not sure exactly why you would be standing underneath this conveyor, but for whatever reason that you may or may not be doing that, just there for safety reasons. Up on these hydraulic rams, we've got more hydraulic lining going up to it. And on the conveyor belt, as you can see, it does have a textured surface to also help along with the realism of the model. Not too terribly much going on there. I will also say the belt does roll. Very, very nice feature. It is a rubber belt, by the way. Very nice feature to have there. Moving along to the bowl, you can see down in there, those are the cutting teeth. And I'm going to open it up here in just a second to expose all of the insides of that. But the bowl itself has been modeled very nicely cast piece, and it's got all the realism and detail of the real piece. So that's very, very well done by TWH on that. This right here real quick, this is essentially just a guard. Sometimes it would be open for operation, sometimes it would be closed. But you know, just kind of be a guard, so if anybody was standing in the on the side of the machine over here, none of the flying debris from the tub would come out and potentially harm anybody there. Alright, and so the tub does open to reveal all of the inner working parts. Right along here we've got more hydraulic lining. That right there goes to the motor that would spin the bowl. This all right here is just more hydraulic lining to simulate that. And right here we've got a 4 stage hydraulic cylinders to hold everything up. Excuse me, just one cylinder, my bad. Here is the cutter wheel. Like I said, it's been modeled very nicely. The teeth, we can see them there. A little bit hard to see, but the teeth have been modeled very nicely, very realistically. It's got the bolt head detail on the back of them so that you could change out teeth whenever the time for that would theoretically come. And real quick, I'll show you. These are, got a little bit of stuff in there from the last diorama, but these are the little screens that go on the inside. And like I said, those just kind of slide right on in there for transportation. I just keep them on the inside of the model, just keeps it a lot easier and so forth. So we're just going to leave that there. It just fell in, no worries. Right here, we've got the hydraulic pump, very big pump on it. Right there is the drive shaft, which is going to be a little difficult, but that actually does spin. I think you can probably see it there. It does spin around, so that's very cool. They added that. That's basically the transmission, we'll call it for now, the blue thing that you're looking at right in the middle of the screen. And right here it appears that we have somewhat of a, it may or may not be where you would add some hydraulic fluid, that little yellow cap there. Not 100% sure. But regardless, the model looks great. Very, very nicely done on the inside here. And if we want, we can kind of see down in there where the wood chips would begin to come out and then go up the conveyor belt. Like I said, this has all been modeled very, very nicely. They did a very good job on all of it, and it looks awesome. So we're going to go ahead and close this up. Before I get too far, I did want to note that you can maybe see those right there and right there. Those would be little lifting eyes if you were to ever take the top off and need to do a engine transplant or something along those lines. They gave you the option to at least somewhat simulate that there. I'm sorry for wandering around a little bit. The stairs, going back to those have been drilled through. Definitely kind of helps make them look a little bit more realistic overall. Coming up to the loader, got some hydraulic lining going all up underneath there for the swing motor and the hydraulics that go from the arm and stick, and there's also a hydraulic cylinder that would move the cab up and down for transportation. Spinning around, go ahead and start off by showing you all the operator's cab here real quick. The steps again have been cut through, make it look more realistic again. These handrails right here do just kind of come out, and you can stick them back into place if you so choose. I just keep them in there. The door of the operator's cab swings open, and as you can see right there, we've got some more warning decals. On the front of the operator's cab, it's got a brush guard, of course, along with a windshield wiper. You never know exactly what flying debris that you may or may not have coming up at you in this machine. On the inside, it's a little bit difficult to see, but you can see 2 joysticks there in the operator's cab, along with there's a tiny little fire extinguisher on the inside there. Nothing too crazy going on there, but it's definitely a very nicely done cab. We're going to shut this door here. Coming out to the boom, You can see right off the bat we're starting off with hydraulic lines, rubber lines which turn to hard lines. These rivets I have painted black. They were a rather ugly silver. I went ahead and blacked that out for the most part. The cylinder jackets themselves, not the jacket, the cylinder, the ram itself has been painted black. I'm not sure exactly why it's been painted black, but they did go ahead and do that to the model. Carrying on to the stick, we got some more rubber met with hard lines, and down to the grapple. It's a three pine grapple, and it's kind of hard to see, but it does have some little teeth there on the sides to help grab onto a log. And it does also have hydraulic cylinders that would open and close the grapple, and hydraulic lining that goes to those cylinders. So this grapple, it's a really nicely done grapple, rotates 360 degrees. It is on a swivel also, so you can swivel it around. So that's very, very nice. So, moving on to the functionality now of the machine. It will, theoretically, if you ever chose to hang brush up so high, it will hold that pose up in the air. And in terms of reach, it'll reach all the way out to over the end of the ball. And as you can see here, it's essentially holding every position. It's sagging a little bit right now, but you can get it to hold quite a few positions really, which is very nice. And in terms of how far down it'll go, that's as far down as it will go. And then boom and stick come in rather close. And that's pretty much it for the functionality of the model. I'll show you real quick. The cab, it does clip up into place, and then it will fold down for transportation. You know, keep it nice and low, make sure it's the proper height requirement and everything. And that's pretty much it, guys. I'll flip the model around for y'all real quick. Yeah, that's not the right way to flip it. On this side of the model, really not too terribly much going on that's any different. It's actually less going on this side, but you do see right here we've got two more lifting eyes. If you were to theoretically maybe be taking off the tub for whatever reason. Over here we've got two more warning decals on the side of the tub. Over here, the underside, there is a warning decal on the underside stabilizers. I'll get to that here before we end up closing out the review. I'll show you all the underside and everything like that. More warning decals, DOT lining. Another warning decal on this stabilizer, which folds out 90 degrees for whenever it's in use, and whenever it's in transportation it would fold in. So that's a very, very nice feature. And basically that tiny little lever right there, that you would pull out for whenever you want the stabilizers to be in the up or down position, and whenever you have it in the desired position you would push it back in to lock it in place. I'm not going to show you that right now, it's just going to make the review a mess, but I'll try to show you all that before I close out the review. Up here on top we've got the tank where you would theoretically be keeping, I'm assuming, your hydraulic fluid and all of that type stuff. Not 100% sure on that. Again, we do have some lifting eyes there if you were ever to theoretically be taking that out and potentially putting in a new one or whatever you may or may not be doing there. But guys, other than that, that's pretty much the model. The underside, like I said, that is, give me 1 second here, bear with me guys. Gotta figure out a way to pick this thing up properly. The underside of the model, as you can see, we've got more hydraulic lining running all underneath there. The underside, those black parts, that is part of the radiator again that I was telling you about. Coming to the back, the 3 axles. We've got the air brakes, everything modeled there. Single tire, so nothing too crazy in terms of that. And really, guys, that's pretty much going to do it for this review. I'm going to show you all real quick what it looks like in transportation mode. And that's very simple. You just open that up. Some people like to keep it closed. I don't prefer that because then you can't get the conveyor to lay flat like that. Then you take the arm. I just like to put the grapple out on the side right over here. And you would take the cab, fold that down, fold that in, and last but not least, over here on the other side, all you have to do is flip up the ladder, close up the operator's station there, and she is all ready for transportation. That's pretty much it, guys. One last thing I'll show you, because I know somebody's gonna want to ask after I get done showing you. This, you pull it out. This is going to be a little difficult with one hand, but you pull. Let's see. All right, never mind. You push it in, and then that will allow the stabilizer to come up if you want. And once it's back down, it's a lot easier to flip the ladder out. And once the stabilizer is back down, you would simply just pull this little lever back out, which is really hard to do one-handed, and the stabilizer is back in the locked position. So guys, that's going to do it. This is probably one of my longest reviews, and I'm going to try to wrap it up here, but very much appreciate the watching and hopefully liking and commenting that y'all are going to do. If y'all have any questions, anything at all, just let me know in the comments or find me on Instagram at Diecast Construction Expert. I'd be more than willing to help out as many of y'all as I can. And as always, like I say, like, subscribe, comment, and follow me on Instagram. I hope y'all found this review fairly helpful, and hope y'all have a good rest of your day.